Crazy Mike, CrazyMikesapps.com with an iPad app demo for Tapikeo HD by Jean-Eudes, Lepelletier. This application is in the education category, works on the iPad, and currently sells for $2.99. This educational kids app encourages learning through unique audio and visual grid-style layout, allowing you to create audio storybooks, flashcards, photo albums, and much more using your own photos and sounds as well. Okay, now we are into the play mode, which is where you're actually going to interact with the grids and the cells that are inside of them. You can see that at the bottom. That's where I'm currently at. There's play, edit, grids, and settings. Those are the four core navigation areas in the app. I'm going to go ahead and tap on an animal, the dog. And I have it set currently where the small picture becomes larger while the sound plays for the animal. Now you can go into settings and you can change that under active picture. You can change it to no change where it'll stay small, or large picture where it becomes large, stays large until you tap on it and get the next animal. I'm going to leave it, my preference is large picture, then downsize when sound ends. That's how you use the main grid functionality. And again, you can see that I currently have 3 grids in Animal Sounds pack, and then each of these are made up of cells. In this case, there are 16 cells to a page. Let's go back into the grids, and again, this is where you're going to select all of your grids for the play section. I'm going to show you another type, and by going into a grid and putting the green box around it, that will give me or notify me that that's the grid that's going to pull up when I tap on play.
Story, Clelia and the Serial.
Now again, in this grid, the opening audio that you heard can be set, or you can have none, or you can change it. In this case, we're actually going to view this in a story mode, I would call it, but it's actually called 1x1 mode. So I'll tap on the blinking cell.
Clelia and the Serial is an example of a short story created with Tapikeo in less than 20 minutes.
So they give you a little bit of an idea. That's the audio for the cell and the image. Tap on the blinking play button.
The cock crowed. Cock-a-doodle-doo! Clelia slowly woke up and rubbed her eyes.
So that is how the 1x1 mode works. It is more of a story mode. You can see the arrows. You can go back and forth. We can go back here. But once you go into it, it's going to keep it as a big picture, and you advance through there unless you go back out and come back into it and see all the grids. Now let's go back to the grids. This is where everything really happens. In your grids up here, first of all, in the far left, you have a question mark, which tells you all about the grids that you need. You can scroll through here and it gives you a bunch of information about this section. Head back in here, again, to the grid manager. You can see the grids that I have. Many came with the application. I downloaded some for free, and I also got the AAC pack, which costs 99 cents, which is the alternative augmented communication pack. And you get you get a variety. I think I got 6 grids with that. And then I created my own here. Let me show you how to do all this. Top, you have a plus to create a grid. Download is where you're actually going to download the grid packs that are already made. Again, Tapikeo has several that you can buy through in-app purchase, but again, in my case, the AAC starter pack gave me quite a few grids for only 99 cents. It gave me multiples, so you're getting a good value for your 99 cents. And there are a bunch that you can download for free, as you can see. And you can also share and get more by the website over here. Let's go back here. That's how you get grids. Now, you're going to see up here, create a grid. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. But select and play is down here, and you can actually show that while you're in the grid area. It takes you into play mode, as you'll notice. Let's go back to grids. And you can have grid settings. You can tap there, and you can actually change the information about this grid that I downloaded, and so on. Let's go cancel out of there, and I have delete a grid. Whatever the green box is around, if you delete it, it's going to go. I also have export. This is a very important feature. I have export. I can tap there, and I can compress this and create a .tpk file. It can only be used by other users who are using the Tapikeo HD application. Once I'm done, I can go ahead and share that in an email down here. You can see export by email. This isn't the same one that I just compressed, but this is how you do it. You put the email address in there, and the file is in here, onenamesofinsects.tpk. Again, the other person is going to have the Tapikeo HD application to use that. We'll delete out of there. Another way you can actually export grids that you have are through create a website version for the browser. Tap there, and it's actually going to create an HTML file you can scroll through right there. I have animal sounds and animals, and what happens here is when you plug in your iPad to sync, you're going to have to use the file manager application or functionality that is in iTunes. How does that work? Again, you tether your iPad, you go into the apps section in iTunes when you're connected, and you scroll below the apps, and you'll have the applications that are able to use file sharing, which Tapikeo HD is, and that is how you'll offload the HTML version of a grid. Then you can share it with non-Tapikeo HD users. Now, with all that out of the way, let's show you how to make a grid. Tap on the plus sign. Here you get to organize your grid. I'm going to say, or create your grid actually, animals. And I'm going to go ahead and leave that. I'm going to record the intro to this. This is my grid about animals. You can test that as well. This is my grid about animals. Now I could do picture outline as green or white, and I can also set it to 1x1 mode again, which is story mode, and you can turn this on or off also. I'm going to go ahead and add the grid. Now that I've added the grid, I can actually add pages of cells with the plus and minus, or I can tap on an individual cell, and here I can actually browse a picture to add, or I can create a new picture with the camera. But I'm going to go ahead and add a picture that I have, which is of a pig, and I can, use it, move and scale, and it's very, very useful. Use and scale fills the picture, and then I can just name it pig. Once I'm done naming it, I can give it a sound. This is a pig. And I can listen to it. This is a pig. Now that's it. I'm done. And again, look for the question marks in the upper right, upper left, bottom right for the areas you're in, because they have helpful details on how to do pretty much everything that you're in that area. Once I'm done, I press done, and I have my cell. Now I can go back to grids, and I'm already in there, so I can go to play and test this out. This is my grid about animals. So I put that in, and then I tap here. This is a pig. And that's how you use that. Now, another couple of important features on the bottom right, we have a lock. Tap on that once, and you lock and put it into safe mode so children cannot access the edit feature or the settings area. They can only access grids, and they have limited functionality there as well. And they can pretty much just add a grid, add photos, and so on, and they can access all the different grids. Now, they can also go into play, which is very important, and so on. Let's go back to our grids, and we will pick animal sounds, and I'm going to go back to play. To unlock this, I just tap on this lock 5 times. I didn't do it fast enough. You have to do it 5 times in 1 second. Now, there's also a shake mode down here in the bottom right. That shake mode will pull up a caterpillar and will quiz children or users of the application on the grid pack that they're actually in. It'll ask you questions about they'll challenge you to say what is the sound. So they'll play the sound of, say, a beaver, and then you have to determine what animal that is. They'll say what animal has this sound. And there are other ways that the shake function works as far as using in the grids. Tap on the question mark again. Information on how to use the play area. Now, one last thing, I'm going to go back to grids and show you the AAC pack that I purchased. Now, in here I have it highlighted. This is a great grid, as it is AAC, which is Augmented Alternative Communication for hearing and visually impaired individuals, and you can see it has text as well as the opportunity to have sounds. And it's a great way to communicate in this application. You can make your own stories or make your own grids using this. Again, it only costs 99 cents to download. There are a large number of other features and functionality that you can access in the settings. You can see the language, sound options. Again, I showed you active picture, shake mode on and off. Again, quick start guides, FAQ, very helpful. Contact them if you're having issues or need some help. And then there's miscellaneous as far as sharing Tapikeo with friends and so on. That's it for this iPad app demo. Until next time, this is Crazy Mike saying see ya.